All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me this morning for our deep dive into the science behind over 30 plus. So if you guys were in attendance when we launched this product just a few days ago, a little bit of this will be review this morning, but the presentation is going to be a little bit different in the sense that we are going to go ahead and go a little bit further into the science behind the different nutrients that are in the product and how they work and what exactly is happening in the body when you take this incredible over 30 plus product. So I know a lot of people, they just want to know how it makes them feel, right? And they know it's supporting their heart. They know they're getting better sleep. They know they feel better when they take the product. But for those of you who are interested in learning a little bit more about the nuts and bolts and the hows and whys behind how the product works, then hopefully this information in this presentation will be enjoyable to you this morning. All right, so you guys know, if you attended, like I said, our launch last week, you know that this is a reiteration or an improvement upon a formula that has been around for around 20 years. So you guys know our founder, Clinton Howard, was really passionate about over 30. He drank over 30 every single day, loved the product and formulated and kept enhancing the benefits of the product by not only making sure that it continued to help produce human growth hormone and support better aging, but as more and more research started coming out, he made sure that it included all of the nutrients that we needed for heart health and other incredible benefits. So we're going to go into that a little bit more detail today. All right, so let's talk about human growth hormone. What exactly is that? Sometimes people just Google human growth hormone. They hear that it's bad and it can make you fail a drug test or different things like that. And what that's talking about is the drug human growth hormone, which is only really needed in certain medical situations, but sometimes athletes and people who are wanting to enhance their body in maybe not as much of a natural way, will occasionally inject human growth hormone. So that's not what we're talking about today. Okay, we're talking about getting the body to produce its own human growth hormone, which is what's really going to help you stay younger. So we'll talk about that. But first of all, let's talk about what it is. So the ingredients in over 30 actually support the release of a precursor called growth hormone releasing hormone, or sometimes it's referred to as growth hormone releasing factor. But this is actually produced in our hypothalamus, which is kind of buried in the middle of our brain. You can see the hypothalamus pituitary area is sort of highlighted on that picture there. So this releasing hormone, or this precursor hormone, is produced in our hypothalamus, and that sends a signal to the pituitary and tells the pituitary, okay, it's time to release and produce more human growth hormone and put that into the bloodstream. So this hormone actually goes in and it affects every single cell and tissue in the body. It helps it regulate metabolism. It helps regulate growth. So that's why we do produce more of it when we're younger, because we're growing faster, right? And we need that quick metabolism to grow and just continually grow new skin cells and bone cells and all that kind of stuff. But it also helps promote, has a lot of other, benefits. And we obviously want to keep our levels in a healthy range, right? Lower than youth, but in a healthy range as we age for lots of different benefits. But growth hormone releasing hormone helps to promote better sleep. It actually aids in appetite control. It helps memory. It does a lot of really great things for the body. And one thing that I want to point out is that these hormones are regulated by a natural feedback loop. So Just like I know a lot of people are familiar with thyroid hormone because a lot of people struggle with their thyroid. So our bodies produce a hormone called thyroid stimulating hormone, and that gets our body to produce more thyroid hormone. Then when we have enough thyroid hormone, that thyroid stimulating hormone goes, okay, we don't need as much. And so it kind of dials back, right? So all these hormones there's a feedback system in the body where it goes, okay, we don't need any more. We have enough. And that's what happens when you're supporting the natural way of producing growth hormone, unlike the injection or the drug that I mentioned a minute ago, is you're working with that system. You're working with that natural feedback loop to where you're not forcing the body to produce too much human growth hormone with a product like over 30. An injection would do that, a drug would do that, but we're supporting naturally that releasing hormone that your body needs. So it's sort of like giving your body the nutrients that it needs to produce adequate thyroid hormone or adequate levels of any hormone. Nutrition is never going to force the body to produce too much. You're just supporting and providing the raw materials. And then that feedback system will help to make sure that your hormones stay at a healthy level and they don't go crazy, because we definitely don't ever want too much of a hormone flooding the system. So that's not what this is about. It's about making sure that as you age, there's not a lack of nutrition or a lack of raw materials for the body to produce the hormones that you need to stay younger feeling and younger looking and healthy and active and cognitively, acute and all that stuff, like good stuff that we want. Okay, so human growth hormone is really our anti-aging hormone. So for men, signs of a decrease in human growth hormone, or HGH, can start to occur in the early 30s. And that can look like a loss of libido, weight gain. It can be just like a loss of muscle weakness, hair loss, memory loss, things like that, when they start to go, oh my gosh, I don't feel like how I felt 5 years ago. I'm feeling less strong and my hair's thinning and, I'm cognitive skills are slipping and things like that. Those can all be signs that our human growth hormone is not what it needs to be. So for women, unfortunately, it starts to happen a little bit younger, a little bit into their late 20s or a bit earlier 30s. For men, it's typically like mid 30s. And that can also include things like weight gain. It can be dry skin, also thinning hair, the fine lines and wrinkles, things like that start to happen to women around that 30-year mark. So when we support our natural levels of human growth hormone, then we can see a lot of benefits, right? We can see greater muscle mass and growth, improved strength, especially if you're working out and doing all the right things. It's not just going to suddenly give you great biceps if you're not doing anything to grow them. But as you're working out and challenging your muscles and using your muscles, then having adequate growth hormone levels will make sure that you're benefiting from that hard work, making sure that you're getting that muscle mass growth and the strength that you want to see. It's also going to help make sure that you're losing weight the way that you want to, that your efforts are not in vain when it comes to eating healthy and maintaining a healthy weight. You can start to see some reduced body fat if you're struggling in that area. Also, stronger bones can be a huge benefit of increased human growth hormone. The reason for that is because HGH stimulates a hormone called IGF-1, and this helps to produce that bone growth and that bone mass, and helps to prevent and sort of offset the bone decay and the bone loss that can start to occur as we age. So fortunately, it also helps to boost our collagen levels, which I know a lot of people are into collagen lately. They're taking collagen supplements and all putting collagen in their smoothies and things like that. And that's all well and good. But we want to be sure that we're providing the body the raw materials at the same time that it needs to produce healthy levels of collagen for that more youthful looking skin. And human growth hormone is really one of the main hormonal drivers of that collagen production. So also the function of nerve cells and brain cells. Our cognitive function relies on human growth hormone to a certain degree. The way that our nervous system functions and the way our nerve cells communicate, all of those things are really start to benefit and sort of come back online, so to speak, when we are supplementing in such a way that helps our bodies to produce adequate HGH. All right, so let's talk about nutrients that are supporting that process. So L-arginine. L-arginine is a great amino acid. It does a lot of things. We're going to talk about it here in a second with when we talk about nitric oxide. But L-arginine supplementation has been shown to enhance circulation and blood flow and to produce more of that human growth hormone and insulin. Glycine is another amino acid that's shown to boost growth hormone and also aids in restful sleep. So that's another, we're going to talk about sleep in a second. Glutamine. Glutamine is also an amino acid, and that is known to support human growth hormone production. And there was actually a study that showed that athletes who supplemented with glutamine showed greater muscle growth and higher blood levels of human growth hormone than the control group. And so there's a lot of studies that have been done just on L-arginine, just on glycine, just on L-glutamine. And the fact that we have something that combines all of those into one product is really quite amazing. All right, let's talk about increasing nitric oxide. So that's another benefit. So in the launch call last week, we talked about how there are really two main benefits of over 30. And there's a lot of residual benefits that come from that. But really what we're looking at here is what are the two major things that are happening in the body when we take this product, right? When we take this incredible combination of amino acids and vitamins and all of that stuff. And so producing human growth hormone is one of those major things. And the other one is that we're increasing our nitric oxide levels. So let's talk about that. So nitric oxide is actually a gas that's produced in most of the cells of our body. It is particularly found in heavy concentrations in our endothelial cells. So these are the cells that are lining our blood vessels. So that picture is just basically a representation of a blood vessel. We've got our blood cells flowing down there, and the endothelial cells are the cells in the lining of that blood vessel, and they produce a lot of nitric oxide. And that's what we're really going to focus on, because we want to talk about nitric oxide as it relates to our circulatory system and our heart health. So doctors Ignaro, Fershot, and Murad, they actually won the Nobel Prize in 1998 for discovering that nitric oxide is a signaling molecule in the cardiovascular system. And so what that means is it has a lot of different roles in the cardiovascular system that gets the body to do healthy things that are good for the heart and good for the circulation. So that nitric oxide, it protects the heart and the blood vessels from free radical damage. And that is huge, because when you have a lot of free radical damage in the bloodstream, what happens is your body, it's sort of like your cells are on fire. And so, we're calling the fire department, so to speak, and to put out those fires. And what's happening in the body is it's calling out the cholesterol, and the cholesterol is accumulating, and the cholesterol is there to help sort of calm inflammation, to heal any nicks and bumps and bruises, so to speak, on the inside of the blood vessels, any damage that's occurring. And so We don't want that, right? We don't want high cholesterol. We don't want cholesterol gumming up the inside of our blood vessels and making it harder for that circulatory system to work and making it harder for the heart to pump and so forth. So nitric oxide is sort of like this amazing gas, and it's really quick. It doesn't last long in the body. It just quickly kind of puffs and shoots into the bloodstream from that cell lining to sort of clear the way, to clear out damage, kill bacteria and parasites that might be in there. It just has a lot of incredible benefits when we can sort of surge that nitric oxide. It also acts as a vasodilator. So what that means is it dilates the blood vessels, right? It makes the blood vessels kind of clear and able for that blood to flow more smoothly. So it's enhancing circulation. So anybody that struggles with circulation, whether that be something that you can kind of see or feel, maybe in your legs or your arms, or you kind of like wake up with, numb fingers, or I know a lot of people as they age start to get feet and toes that start to get more numb, and they have to elevate them, and their circulation is just not what it used to be. Boosting that nitric oxide production can oftentimes really help with that. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit more about the benefits of boosting that nitric oxide. So I already mentioned vasodilation. So that's huge when we're talking about healthy blood pressure balance. So if your blood vessels are constricted, or if they're sort of gummed up with, cholesterol and triglycerides and plaque damage and things like that, then of course it's like, holding a fire hose, right? If your hose is gummed up on the inside and the water can't get through, it's going to be harder. You're going to have to put more pressure on the water and make the water pressure, stronger to get it to push through the hose, right? So that's not what we want in our bloodstream. We want our blood vessels nice and open. We want the blood cells all flowing smoothly, without a lot of interference on the inside, without the inflammation and the plaque and things like that. So when we dilate the blood vessels, we make them just a little bit bigger, and we get them all cleaned out with those surges of nitric oxide, then the blood flow can be smoother, and then our heart doesn't have to work as hard, and then our blood pressure can hopefully stay normalized, as long as we've got, other healthy factors in place to make sure of that. So it reduces that blood vessel inflammation, blood clots, not the product, the nitric oxide. Okay, make sure we're talking about the right thing. I'm not making medical claims here. But when our body has what it needs to produce nitric oxide, that creates healthier blood vessels. Of course, it's going to help with cognitive function. Okay, if your circulatory system is working more smoothly and your blood flow is able to get to your brain, it's just like your blood flow getting to your toes. Like you have to have that healthy blood flow in every part of the body for everything to function properly. So if you want to think clearly and not forget words and all that kind of stuff, of course we have Nerve Bright, which is amazing. But we want to make sure that we're getting good blood flow as well. And nitric oxide, it's not just for your bloodstream and for your heart. It also actually helps improve your immune system. Our immune cells use nitric oxide as well. So I mentioned, that has a lot of our cells produce nitric oxide. We're just focusing more on the bloodstream, but just so that for your knowledge, when we have healthy levels of nitric oxide, we're going to have a stronger immune response. It can also help with erectile dysfunction, and that's again because of the blood flow issue. When you're strengthening the nervous system, you're strengthening your blood flow, then of course it's going to help in those areas as well. And a lot of medications are based on that pathway. So, for a lot of people, I've heard anecdotally that the over 30 has been actually really, really good for them in that area. So just something to be aware of. So the nutrients that boost nitric oxide, if you want to, I was looking around for my book, I don't have it with me. I was going to show it to you, but you can see it there on the screen, so that's okay. If you really want the deep dive into all the nutrients, if you're really fascinated by this whole topic of nitric oxide, there's a great book called No More Heart Disease, and the No stands for nitric oxide. But that is a book that this formula is really based off of. The nutrients that are in that book, it's nice to know we can find them all in one product. But L-arginine and L-citrulline are two of the primary amino acids that boost nitric oxide production. So L-citrulline actually gets converted into L-arginine, though L-arginine is really the primary amino acid that our bodies use to produce nitric oxide. But then we have sort of that backup that citrulline, will convert when we need more L-arginine to do that. So like I mentioned previously, just supplementing with L-arginine has been shown to boost production of human growth hormone and insulin, as well as nitric oxide, so it does a lot of great things. It's the primary ingredient in over 30 plus. And then we have taurine. Taurine is an amino acid that's found in high concentrations in the heart muscle. So we know it's very, very good for the heart. Whenever you see a lot of a nutrient in organ, okay, it needs a lot of that, right? It's a good indication. But taurine improves nitric oxide bioavailability. And it also has a sort of a globally protective effect on the heart as well. And then vitamins, there's several different vitamins in there. Again, that's all based on the work of Dr. Louis Ignarro. We've got vitamin C, vitamin E. You're seeing those antioxidant vitamins that are really important for, protecting the blood vessels and protecting overall the body against free radical damage. Several of the B vitamins, folic acid, B6, B12. These are all cofactors, meaning that they're all essential for making sure that our body has those raw materials that it needs. So like I mentioned previously, we're not forcing the body to produce, too much nitric oxide, just like we're not forcing the body to produce too much human growth hormone. That's the problem that people, we run into, right, with medications, is it just forces the body to do something, or sometimes it's giving the body something from the outside, and we don't always know if we're giving the body the right amount of it. We could be giving the body too much, and so then we have to keep going back to the doctor and looking on the blood work and adjusting dosages and things like that. So there's a time and a place for that, perhaps, with certain things. But if we have the knowledge and we have the research to know, okay, if this is what my body needs to produce this particular thing, right, whether it's a hormone or the nitric oxide, when we know that, and we know, okay, the body uses vitamin C, it uses folic acid, it uses B12, it uses L-arginine, and we can put that together in a supplement form, then to me, it just makes sense to at least try that first, and to use that, because many, many times, most of the time, when you give your body what it needs, all those building blocks, it does a fabulous job of regulating things on its own, as long as it has the nutrients that it needs to do that. All right, so let me just touch on a couple of the other nutrients that are found in over 30 plus. So we have 5-HTP in there, and I absolutely love this addition to the product because 5-HTP is a precursor to serotonin, and serotonin is a very important neurotransmitter, and perhaps now more than ever, if I can say that, because this is the neurotransmitter that really helps to make us feel happy. It elevates the mood. It helps to suppress an overactive appetite. And it's just calming to the nervous system. Serotonin is You probably heard of people saying, well, I've got to get my serotonin boost, or, people might call it the happy hormone or something like that. Like they just know that serotonin equals happiness and kind of a calm happy, like not overly anxious, crazy, overly excitable happiness, but just a calm happiness where you're in a good mood, you just wake up in a better mood. Serotonin is really, really important for that. And so antidepressants are based on that whole thinking. Antidepressants are typically called SSRIs. They're selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And basically what that means is they get serotonin to stick in the brain more. Instead of your body cycling through and kind of flushing out its serotonin, it gets the serotonin that's there to stick around longer so that you feel happier. That's the goal anyway. But if we can give the body what it needs, given that precursor, that 5-HTP, to help your body produce more serotonin. And of course, there's other factors to serotonin production, but 5-HTP is just one way that we can nutritionally sort of encourage or drive that pathway. Then a lot of times that can really, really help people on its own. So I've put people just on 5-HTP alone as, a standalone supplement for many, many years, when I feel it's the right thing to do for that person. But I love that it's in this product. It's not a high dose, but there's just enough to where we're giving the body, it's like, here's another little raw material, to do some more good things, right? Like we know we're doing so many good things for the heart and the circulation and the brain and all of that. And so let's just give you a little something that is going to help you wake up in a better mood and feel calm and happier. And I think we all need that. So I love that it's in this product. All right. Also, alpha lipoic acid. So alpha lipoic acid is an interesting nutrient. It does a lot of great things for the body. It feeds the mitochondria to help generate energy. Our mitochondria are like the little powerhouses in our cells where we actually produce our ATP, we produce our energy molecules. So alpha lipoic helps with that process. It helps to reduce something called lipid peroxidation, which is basically where the fat and protein molecules in our cells get oxidative damage. They get damaged. And so that can take a toll on heart health as well. So helping to reduce that. The effect of that is that it supports our heart health. It also helps to increase glutathione levels. So glutathione is kind of considered the master antioxidant of our body. Glutathione is something that we produce naturally as long as we have the right raw materials in our system. And that helps our liver to detoxify. It helps our entire body to detoxify, but it plays a really key role in that liver detoxification. So alpha lipoic acid can help with that as well. And then velvet bean. This is an interesting one. We've talked a lot about some isolated nutrients, and velvet bean is really a food. It's a Colombian bean. Its history is that people would use it as a hot drink. But of course, in this product, we're just adding it to the formula because of its benefits. So velvet bean contains a substance called L-dopa, which has a similar structure to dopamine. And dopamine is that neurotransmitter that helps us to feel motivated. It helps us feel happy and like we're being rewarded for what we're doing. It just kind of helps you feel that like, oh, I did a good job, and I'm motivated to do this thing again. It's just one of those wonderful brain chemicals that helps kind of keep us going, helps us to also helps with our nervous system. So as people get older, sometimes they tend to have less dopamine, which can cause them to not feel as motivated to do things. It can cause them to not take as great a care of themselves because they're just not getting that reward feedback of like, oh, when I do this, I feel good, that system. kind of gets broken because of a lack of dopamine. And it can also create body movement issues like balance issues and things like that. So making sure that we have adequate dopamine levels in our system is also just another great thing to ensure as we get older, to make our balance strong, to keep us happy, motivated, to stay active, and all of that good kind of stuff. So that's another just great addition to the product. All right, so in summary, we have a really, really comprehensive formula here. There are other L-arginine based products on the market. Like I said, we have, there is good research on L-arginine exclusively, on glycine exclusively, and on all these, a lot of vitamin C, right? Alpha lipoic acid, like you name it. There's studies you could find on every single ingredient, every single nutrient found in this product. You could find a good study. So, you can go to the store and find L-arginine and find glutamine and glycine and, probably piece together about 15 different products to kind of figure out, how to support your nitric oxide and your human growth hormone and your sleep and your mood and all of that good kind of stuff. But with over 30 plus, you don't have to do that. You can actually just take one product that does all these great things. It has vitamins, minerals, herbs, B vitamins, alpha lipoic, all the great things that we talked about. And it's great for sleep. And so that's when I take it at night personally, because I always need that help. I'm kind of a night owl, so I always need that help, kind of like calming down, putting the work away, and getting a good night's sleep. So I really enjoy taking it at night. And then I do feel better when I wake up in the morning and I have deeper sleep. I can tell I'm more rested and all of those kind of things. But some people take it during the day. Some people get energy. They enjoy the energy from the B vitamins. And, it's really a personal preference, but either way, you're getting a really, really comprehensive formula. You're getting about 10 to 15 different products in one delicious drink. So, so like I've mentioned, the formula has just continued and continued to evolve. It's been around for decades, but with each iteration, we continue to look at the research and improve the product. The latest addition is that we've added vitamin D. So that's the plus on the end there, right? We have over 30 plus vitamin D. And the reason for that is because about 80% of us are deficient in vitamin D. We're not getting the sunshine that we need. We're staying indoors more than ever now, especially. People have been scared of the sun, or told if you go outside, you have to wear sunblock. So of course that blocks all of our vitamin D production, and vitamin D is critical to our heart health, to the strength of our bones, as you guys know. It's critical to our immune system and just our overall health. So each packet now contains 500 international units of vitamin D. I typically encourage people to take more than that, but we have a lot of great products that have vitamin D in them as well. So it's not a mega dose, but it's just a good dose to, again, just provide another one of those raw materials that your body needs to have a healthy heart, support overall the aging process, the immune system, and all of that. So that is it, your daily heart health drink. So if you're not familiar with Over 30, I want to encourage you guys to try it. It is actually in a packet that you just pour into water, hot water, cold water. Somebody asked on the last call, and I didn't get a chance to answer their question, but they said, is it stable in hot water? Because I talk a lot about making it into a tea. And the truth is, you probably lose a little vitamin C. Vitamin C is not a stable molecule. You probably lose a little vitamin C if you add it to, super hot water. I usually will get my water to about the temperature where I'm going to drink it. I don't add it to boiling water, but whenever it's the temperature that I would be comfortable drinking, like a cup of tea, that's about the temperature that I use. So it's just warm. It's not scaldingly hot or anything like that. So I would encourage you to just add it to warm water or cold water, whatever your preference is. And just one packet a day is going to give you heart health, that youthful hormone support that we all want, better sleep, a balanced mood, an improved metabolism, circulation, cognitive function, all in one product. So be sure and get your over 30 plus if you haven't already. It's such a fabulous product. And I hope that you have enjoyed this time of just diving a little bit more into the nuts and bolts of why the ingredients are so incredible and exactly how they work and how they're supporting your body. So let me know, send me an email, let me know if you've enjoyed this. And if so, I will do more deep dives on other products in the future. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.